Hello. Eric Sheptock coming at you. So, I should say, long story short, and I admit that I'm oversimplifying it just a bit, I did 52 days in jail as a political prisoner of incumbent mayoral candidate Muriel Bowser and her administration. It's a long story that I'm not going to try to tell here and now, but I mentioned in August of 2017 that I might run for mayor in 2018. After all this political trouble and going to jail and so forth, I did reconsider, but then I said, I'd be doing DC a disservice if I didn't run. And there are several reasons as to why I should run, even if I am a long shot candidate. First of all, the long shot candidate became president of the United States, for those who haven't been following the news. And you see, in DC, it's customary for the mayor to meet the president at least once. I would imagine that in various state capitals, the mayor of that city meets the governor at least once. I would even imagine that the governor, the mayor, and the county executive for the county in which that state capital sits do a political threesome sometimes. But were I to become mayor of DC, I would be one of the poorest people in the past anyway, because you make a pretty good penny as mayor, but I would be one of the former poorest people in DC, and I would be face to face at least once with the richest man in DC, both of us being chief executives of our respective governments. And I would be able to bring to him the concerns of the poor community and what we think about his policies and how they're affecting us. And I'd be able to talk to him about this Russian collusion. He might not entertain those topics at length, but I'd get a plug in. So there's that. Reason number two is that the incumbent mayoral candidate, Muriel Bowser, is expediting the gentrification that has been going on for about 20 years here in DC. And I'm sure that the business community from behind the scenes is pulling some strings and making sure that she finishes this 20-year plan of gentrification. I think she's behind schedule a bit, and they want her to get a second term. But be that as it may, that leads into my third reason. You see, when you choose a chief executive of any government, president, governor, mayor, county executive, then you're choosing a concept being. You see, whatever they stood for prior to their candidacy, and whatever behaviors they exhibited during their candidacy, and whatever the concepts in the political sphere when they ran, all those things are met in that individual. So Trump, he ran a mudslinging campaign and showed us that mudslinging can get you into office. He colluded with the Russians, or so I believe, and showed us that collusion can get you into office. He fails to admit that he colluded, and I kind of expect that he would lie about that. He's showing appreciation for Vladimir Putin because there's an old expression, don't bite off the hand that feeds you. Well, he's not going to bite off the hand that feeds him, even if the food was stolen. And so I understand why he is so supportive of Vladimir Putin and the Russian government. And let's not act all brand new on him, and let's not act like we don't understand that he would appreciate the person who helped him cheat and become president. But that said, when you choose a chief executive of a government, you're choosing a concept being who becomes the embodiment of all of the concepts that led to them winning. So if you choose me, you're choosing somebody who understands poverty, who understands homelessness, who has dealt with DC government for 12 years and understands how DC government functions. You're choosing somebody who has shown that he will work pro bono for a good cause, which I've done for 12 years. I have made some money as an advocate, but not very much. And that kind of leads into another issue, which is that my savings are dwindling. Because my savings are dwindling, I'm going to need to raise some money very quickly, which means that I'll need to do an exploratory GoFundMe wherein I let people know my intentions and that I do plan to use the funds to survive, but I want to see if people are willing to put forth money to help me sustain myself while I run this campaign. I have until August 8th to get at least 2,000 viable signatures to get on the ballot. Today is July 23rd, so I have 15 days, and if I get 40 volunteers and they each put in 4 hours and they each get 100 signatures, then I'll have twice as many as what I need. That way the ones that get disqualified for this reason or that reason won't bring me below the 2,000 good signature threshold. So I'm going to go and make that GoFundMe page and link everything up and put it out there on Facebook and elsewhere. And I'm going to see if I can get 40 volunteers to each put in at least 4 hours and get 100 signatures apiece. I'm going to see if I can get at least $200 put into the GoFundMe within the next 3 days, and see, with what I have left in my savings, that'll last me through August if I remain frugal. But the election, of course, is in November, and so I'm going to probably need at least $2,000 between now and November to sustain myself with my low-cost living arrangement. But anyway, there you have it. I'm going to do something that seems a little bit crazy by going out there as a long shot candidate and seeing how much support I can garner. And if people are fed up enough with gentrification and with Mayor Muriel Bowser, and if Americans from elsewhere are interested in having the poorest man in DC, or one of the poorest anyway, come face to face with the richest man in DC, with both of us being chief executives of our respective governments. And if you want me to bring a message to him on top of the message that my victory would carry if I were to win. Okay, so I'll stop there and I'll see how much support I can garner, and if people are ready enough for change to vote for the long shot mayoral candidate. Thank you.